The Grey 2011, a complete story, analysis, and deep exploration written in easy, speakable words. Introduction: a film that stays with you. Some movies are easy to forget. You watch them, you enjoy them, and then they leave your mind within a day or two. But some movies stick with you. They stay in your threads long after the scene goes dark. They make you ask deep questions about life, about death, about what it means to keep going when everything tells you to stop. The Grey, realized in 2011, is one of those movies. The Grey is a survival film. On the outside, it looks like a story about men fighting wallows in the frozen wild lands of Alaska. And yes, that is part of what happiness. But if you look deeper, if you really listen to what the movie is saying, you will find that the Grey is about something which bigger. It is about the human will to live. It is about what happiness to a man who has lost his reason to keep going. It is about fear, courage, grief, and the strange. final beauty of the begin alive, directed by Geo Cornhan and starring Liam Neeson. The Grey was not expected to be a deeply moving film. Many people thought it would just be a simple action movie, the kind where a tooth guy fights wild animals and wins. But what they got instead was a raw, honest, painful look at what it feels like to be, but what they got instead was a raw, honest, painful look at what it feels like to be alive and near death at the same time. Criticize pierced it. Audiences were moved by it, and years later, people still talk about it as one of the most beautiful survival film ever made. In this piece, we are going to explore everything about The Grey. We will walk through the full story, scene by scene. We will look at the characters and what makes them interesting. We will talk about the themes of the film, the deep ideas that run through every moment of it. We will look at how the film was made, where it was shot, and how the actors prepared for such a difficult production. We will talk about that, criticize side, how audiences reached, and what kind to legacy this film has left behind, and most importantly, we will try to understand what the Grey is truly saying about life, death, and the will to go on. So, talk, breathe, let us strip onto the cold, let us enter the Grey. Background: what kind of movie is this? The basic idea at this core, the Grey is a survival thrill. It is the kind of movie where people are put in an extremely dangerous situation, and the story follows them as they try to stay alive. The specific situation in the Grey is this: a group of oil workers survive a plane crash in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness, and then they are hunted by a pack of grey wolves. While trying to find their way back to safety. What is the surface story? But as we said before, the real story is much deeper. The Grey is also a character study. It spends a lot of time inside the mind of this its main character, a man named Otway, played by Liam Neeson. Otway is a broken man. He has lost the woman he loved. He has thought about ending his own life. He is someone who has given up on the world, and the film watches what happens to this man when the world suddenly forces him to fight for survival. The film was directed by Geo Creation, who is known for making intense, fast-moving film. It was based on a short story called Ghost Walker, written by Lan Mackenzie Differs, who also helped write the screenplay. The story was adapted carefully, keeping all of its emotional weight while adding the action and tension. What makes the film so exacting to watch? The cast. The film stars Liam Neeson as Johan Otway, the main character. Neeson is a very tall, strong-looking actor with a deep voice and face, what can show both great sadness and great strength at the same time. He was early a famous actor star by 2011, known for movies like Taken About, but this role gave him a chance to do something different. He was not just a talk guy, he was a broken man trying to find a reason to live. The rest of the survivors are played by a strong group of supporting actors. Frank Grillo played Dies, a rock and angry man who fights with Ottaway throughout the film but grows into something more. Dallas Roberts plays Hendrik, a quiet and thoughtful man who misses his family deeply. Dermot Mulroney plays talked a kind and gentleman. Joy Anderson plays Flannery. Each of these men brings something real and human to the film. Realize and initial reception. The Gary was realized in the United States on journey 27 2012. It was made with a budget for around $25 million and went on to earn over $77 million at the box office worldwide, which was a very good result. Critics give it strong reviews. Many praised Liam Neeson performance as one of the best of his career. Others praised of film's atmosphere, its emotional depth, and its willingness to ask hard questions without giving easy answers. However, not everyone lived it. Some audiences who weren't in expecting a simple action film were surprised and even confused by how sad and deep it was. Some people felt the ending was unsatisfying because it did not show a clear winner or a clear ending in the way that most action moves do. But many others felt that this open ending was exactly that made the film special. The full story, scene by scene, the world before the chair. The film begins in a cold, dark, and lonely place. We are in Cowder by Alaska, one of the most remote oil drilling locations in North America. It is a place where tugmen come to work for money. It is not a place where people go by choice. It is a place where people to go because they need to work and they do not have many other options. We meet Johan Ottaway immediately. He works as a hunter for the oil company. His job is to protect the workers from wallows. When wallows come too close to the camp, it is Ottaway's job to shoot them. He sits in the wood alone, watching through the scope of his rifle. He is very good at what he does, but we can see right away that he was not a happy man. The film shows us Ottaway sitting alone writing a letter. He writes to a woman. In this letter, he tells her that he cannot go on. He tells her that there is nothing left for him. He walks outside with his rifle, puts it on his own chain, and is about to pull the trigger. And then he hears walrus howling in the distance. Something about that sound stops him. He lowers the gun. He goes back inside. but we do not know why he stopped. Not yet. This opening scene is very important. It tells us everything we need to know about Ottaway. He is a man at the very edge of life. He is a man who has given up, and the film is going to put him in a situation where even though he has given up on life, life is not going to give up on him. We see Ottaway among the other workers. These are rocked men who drink to such who fight each other, who use bad language and act thought, but underneath all of that, they are just men who miss their families, men who are afraid, men who are going what they have to do to survive. Ottaway watches them without much feeling. He is not part of their world, even though he lives and works among them. The plane crashed. The workers board a plane to fly home. It is a small charter plane, the kind that carries workers back and forth from to oil fields to the city. Ottawa is on this plan. So are the other men we have seen. They settle in for the fight. Then, without much warning, something goes wrong. The plane begins to shake. The turbulence is violent. Men grab into their seats. The lights flicker. The engines make terrible sounds. And then the plane begins to fall. The crash occurrence in the Grey is one of the most terrifying and realistic plan. Crash scenes were put on film. It does not use slow motion or dramatic music to make it feel bigger. Instead, it is chaotic, fast, and overwhelming. Everything is happening at once. The plane tears apart. Men are swimming. The world is spinning and breaking. And then, in a moment of shocking silence, it is over. Ottore walks up in the snow. The plane has crashed in the middle of a vast, frozen wilderness. Around him are pieces of the plane. scattered language and bodies. He is a whale. He does not quite know why. He begins to move through the wreckage. He finds other survivors. He checks on the men who are badly hurt. He does this with the calm of someone who has been trying to deal with death. One of the men is dying. Ottaway holds him. He tells him it is okay. He tells him to think about someone he loves and to focus on that. The man dies in his arms, and Ottaway, who just hours ago was about to end his own life, is now going everything he can to keep others alive. This is one of the film's great ironies. The man who did not want to live becomes the man keeping others alive, surviving the first night. There was every scene survives. Ottaway quickly takes on the role of leader, not because he is asked to, but because he knows how to survive in this environment, and the other do not. He knows about violence. He knows about the code. He knows about how to keep moving and how to stay alive. The men gather on bodies. of those who did not survive the crash. They look for useful supplies. They find a loco on the plane. Medicines, some food. They also find the valence of the dead man, full of pictures of their films. These pictures become a kind of memorial, a reminder that each dead man was a person with a life, with people who loved him. That first night, the wallows come. The survivors can see their eyes glowing in the darkness just outside the crackle of firelight. Ottaway knows these moles are not ordinary walls. They have crashed in or near the walls territory. The wallows see them as a threat, and the wallows are going to hunt them. Ottaway tells the man what he knows about wallows. He tells them that Wally will try to spot them, pick them off one by one. He tells them that their only chance is to stay together, to make noise, to keep fire between them. Some are angry, some do not believe him, but they all listen because they do not have a better plan. The group begins to move. The next day, Ottaway makes a decision. The crash site is in the open. There is no shelter. They cannot just wait to be rescued. Ottaway knows from looking at the position of the sun and the direction of the wide wind that there is forest ahead. If they can reach the trees, they will have shelter from the cold and maybe from the wolves. They leads the group out into the snow. This is where the film really begins to pick up its pace. The men are not just walking, they are walking through deep snow in extreme cold without people, winter gear, and with willows crickle them, crickling them. Every step is hard. Every moment brings a new danger. Along the way, the men talk, they argue, they get to know each other. Ottaway learns more about who these men are. Talgant is a quiet man who pulls out a photo of the director of holds it as he walks. Hendrik thinks about his film back home. Dice is angry and hostile, questioning every decision Ottaway makes. Work is big and strong, but also frightened. Flannery is funny, using jokes to move his fear. These conventions are where the film becomes truly human. These are not perfect heroes, these are just men, real, flawed, frightened men trying to take one more step. First, Dritz, the Volvo truck. The first attack happens quickly and without rowing. A man named Haradens, who had been part of the group, is taken by a wolf. It happens so fast that the others barely have time to read. One moment he is there, the next moment he is gone, glided into the darkness by a massive wolf. This death shocks the group. It makes everything real. These wolves are not just shown in the night, they are real. They are close and they are deadly. The men threaten their group. They try to stay alert, but there is only so such they can do. As the days pass, more men die. Each death is shown with care and width. The film does not treat death as an easy thing. Each death matters. Each loss hits the group hard, and each death forces the survivors to take the same question: are we next?